I'm Caroline McCann, the owner of Braeside Meat Market. We're a specialist butchery who believe that you need to know where your meat comes from and to know your butcher. I'm behind the business. I've owned Braeside for the last 13 years, and in that time I've made it my business to be the best that I can be. My business specializes in finding free-range grass-fed meat that we source directly from farmers, and the inspiration came from a trip I did to the UK a number of years back, where it struck me that most of the good butchers that I looked up to knew exactly where the meat they were selling came from. So I decided to come back to South Africa and be the first to do it here. I did always want to manage my own business. My earliest attempt at being in business was when I was 6 years old, and I used to make Valentine's Day chocolates and sell them at school and to our local neighborhood. The whole dynamic of business, of finding and selling and spreading a little bit of joy, I find really interesting. In regards to Braeside Meat Market, I bought the business from my aunt, and she had successfully owned and run it for 6 years. For me, it was quite a step out of what I was used to. I was practicing law at the time, and I'd been doing so for 7 years and really just needed a change of pace. I didn't quite dream that I'd fall in love with the meat industry and what I do. And 13 years later, I really wouldn't do anything else. I think it's incredibly important that as a consumer, you're given a choice of what to put into your body. And up until the last 10 years, that choice was not freely available. And also, I think that there's a lot to be said for taking South African farmers who are doing terrific work, promoting them and letting them be the face of their amazing products. I think there's more to be gained by looking at the whole farm to fork situation and trying to be an integral part of it. I think being an entrepreneur in SA requires you to juggle balls. There's so many things that we need to deal with. We also tend to be very creative and imaginative because that's what is needed in our economy. The first and the biggest obstacle I needed to overcome was to be taken seriously as a woman in this particular industry. What makes our product unique, and in fact our entire service offering unique, is that we are the butcher of old. We believe very strongly in know who your butcher is, because then you'll know what your meat is. So with Braeside, I've made it an absolute passion and policy that every person who walks in will be greeted by a person and ask what it is they're cooking, so we can give the best cut for what it is that they need to cook. A few little known facts about what happens in the meat industry, and which to me are rather horrific and certainly practices I don't engage in, is often ice is added to meat to be turned into mince, and that gives that extra lean that everyone talks about. Another practice that is becoming more widespread and for me is of more concern is the practice of phosphate injecting into meat. The problem that I have with that, and I think one of the things that people need to be aware of, is that phosphate is a naturally occurring enzyme that tenderizes meat and that bulks it up. And a lot of people are finding that they're allergic to it. Future for Braeside Meat Market entails us opening more stores so that every consumer will have the ability to walk into a Braeside, choose their favorite cut, and be served by a butcher who will be able to help them best. A number of years ago, I chose to start my relationship with the Sanlam Handmade Contemporary Food Wine Design Fair, as I realized that it is the best fair for showcasing my product. They are able to bring exhibitors who are like-minded to me, have equal product of fine standing in one forum, and the people who attend are generally the people who'd be interested in my products of free-range grass-fed meat.